Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to KT Garage. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to troubleshoot and disassemble this solenoid from a Humvee. This is a fan clutch solenoid that controls the fluid that goes to the fan clutch and activate fan clutch when the temperature gets up to the point where it needs the fan. Now the problem is I just blew a low pressure hose that goes into this solenoid. This hose is supposed to only hold under 300 psi, but it blew the hose, and I know that the hose is a little bit older, but it shouldn't be blowing up like that. So I have reason to believe that this is clogged up. So I'm gonna completely disassemble this, find out what's wrong with it, and then unclog it because the pressure is quite high for it to be blown up. Now I did put a gauge into the holes in between where the hose is to this solenoid, and the gauge is recording. Now the gauge maxed out at 400 psi and it topped out at 400, so I know it's even more than 400 psi. Those holes are designed for 300 psi of working pressure, so I know something is wrong. I'm gonna show you guys how to disassemble this, find out what's going on in there, and hopefully we can correct it. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is just to remove this from the main body. And these are threaded in. And I just broke the thread before I made the video. So this thread is, you probably have to put a wrench on here, a clamp on this, and try to break it loose. So in here, there's a piston in here that gets activated when the power is on. So when there's electrical power, I believe this comes forward and open up the flow. And this is as far as I got. So I'm gonna have to do a whole bunch more disassembly to find out what's wrong, because this looks quite clean. There's an O-ring in here. There's a hose that for the bypass, and then this thing is plugging up the middle hole. Oh, that just fell. Okay, so I'm gonna see from the look of this, I think I can break this two pieces and then find out what's in here. I'm trying to clean it out. Okay, so first I'm just gonna take all these fittings out, and hopefully there's a filter or something in here that got blocked up before removing the entire system. Okay, let's see what we got here. Just gonna clean this up. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to break the top cap off. Okay, it says there's a spring in here. Look like this valving system in here. Okay, so let's go over how this solenoid works. And it's like super simple. It just takes me a few minutes to figure it out. So this is your body. It's just a one-piece body. You got a cylinder. Then there's a polypack seal on there. The seal looks really good, so I don't need to replace it. Now, this cylinder goes into here. So you just push it in like that. This is spring that's loading that cylinder. And then the top cap, you just kind of put it on and make it up. And at this point, that cylinder is forced down by the spring. And there's a reason for that. We're going to talk about that in just a minute here. So this is forced down all the time. So let's talk about hydraulics a little bit. So you have the inlet is this hole right here, and this hole, when it comes in, it needs to go back to the reservoir. So this is your bypass. So this cylinder is loaded in by the spring, and as the pressure build up, it's going to try to push that cylinder forward, and as it pushes it forward, it gives it more bypass. So this spring is controlling the pressure of your hydraulic system. So more like a pressure regulator. So when you have pressure coming in here, it pushes forward, and then it allows more bypass because you're building up too much pressure. And it's building the pressure for this hose here. And this is your fan clutch. And there's tiny little holes, and that's really all you need to activate the fan. And so when you have this whole system bolted down like that, and the spring is engaged, the top piece right here, this right here is acting as a seal, and it's always sealed. So it's like that. So this activator is sealing on this hole right here. So in normal condition, when the fan is not on, this hole is sealed up. So there's no pressure allowed to go to the fan clutch. But this solenoid right here, when the electricity is going through it, it's going to pull it back. It just creates a magnetic field, and it pulls it back. So when it pulls it back, and this is spring loaded, right, it's sealing on here, but when this is pulled back, it's allowing flow to come from there, because this flow is coming from the bottom, and then it goes, there's a little hole on the side. I'm not sure if you can see it. That hole's right, I'll point this resistor to it. So there's a hole right there. And that's the hole that leading down to this chamber right here, and then it come out of here, allow fluid to come into this chamber and then go to fan clutch. So that's how the system works. Now, when I disassembled this whole thing, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. The smallest thing I have around the shop is this resistor is pretty small. So I poked through this hole right here, and this is the one going to the fan clutch. There's no plugging. Everything seems normal. So I'm just going to reassemble it. So at this point, I think the system is designed to go up to about 400 or 500 psi, which is a lot to me. But you know, I think it's working properly because I couldn't find anything wrong with the system. And the pressure regulator is controlled by the spring, which is like, it's mechanical, so it can't go wrong. So maybe my hose burst just because it was old, but I'm surprised that they would build up, you know, over 400 psi. So anyway, so at this point, I'm just going to reassemble and put it back in the truck. But again, reassembly is super easy. You just push that cylinder in, and then get your spring on. There's a little recess here. Just make sure you get the spring on that recess. And then you just secure the assembly like that. And just make sure you torque it up real good. And then, yeah, just make sure you get this assembly on there. and then reassemble it. Sorry, this side. So you're gonna reassemble it like that. Torque all of this up, and you're done. It's not too bad. Well guys, at this point, I'm not very comfortable with this setup because I couldn't find anything wrong with it. That means that the system is designed to build that much pressure. It's over 400 PSI. I have no idea how high it goes. So I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm just gonna bypass it for now while I'm doing testing on the vehicle. I'm just gonna use this T and let the hydraulic comes in, and then it goes to the bypass, and then this goes to the fan clutch. So hopefully I have enough pressure to activate the fan clutch and have the fan running full time. I'm okay with that while I'm doing testing. So let's try to get this on, and then this I'm just gonna leave it aside for now. I just really don't feel comfortable with the whole setup for right now. It could be a problem with this, which I couldn't visually see anything, or it could be something else. Let's do the bypass so we can keep testing the vehicle, and then we'll deal with the fan later. Well guys, this is just a temporary test setup for right now, but basically I'm bypassing that entire solenoid. I put a T in here. So this is the inlet. That's back to the reservoir, and this is to the fan clutch. So apparently there's no choke here, so the pressure is kind of low. Not sure what the pressure is. I'm going to read it off from this gauge, and then we'll figure out if the fan clutch is engaged. If it does, great. That means that I'm just going to keep it on full time. It's all right for my application. I'm good with that. Like all the old engine, the fan is on full time anyway, so I don't see there's a harm in that. Let's hope that's the case. We'll check this out. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to mechanically go in there and lock up that gauge, the clutch, and that's a lot of work because I gotta get the radiator out. Like all the stuff gotta go to get to that clutch. A lot of work, so hopefully this will take care of it. All right, so let's start up the engine and see what's going on with the pressure. About 2 to 3 PSI. Looks like the fan is on as well. Alright, so much better. Well guys, I'm super happy to see that the system is now around 5 PSI. Which is awesome. I'll take the 5 PSI over the 500 or whatever PSI before any day. I'm okay with running that fan full time. I'm good with it. It's running much lower pressure, which is lower risk for all kinds of problems. So I'm gonna leave it like that for the time being. Now, if you guys want to know a little bit more on this truck, this is basically a Humvee, but I have a different body just to make it look cool. You can follow this series. It's called the Super Hawk, and it's really a cool project that I've been working on for the last 3 years. So if you have an interest on it, look up in my channel. I have like over 60 episodes on it. Please check it out. Appreciate you guys tuning in to KT Garage. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Thank you.